Hello and welcome to Casting Roles, a persistent D&D campaign played by a bunch of theater nerds. Thank you for joining us. If you're liking the show, please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And if you'd like to reach out to us on social media, you can find us on Twitter at Casting Roles and on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Casting Roles ILM. Our videos are uploaded on Friday on our YouTube channel. But with no other announcements, we'll go ahead and start the show. So ticket takers, after leaving the city of Alyria and flying to Broadfield, you then made your way across vast distances, leaving the country for the very first time. And for many of you, seeing the ocean, getting out into the wide world as you made your trek towards the island nation of Nuevea. During the journey, you met a weird merchant who sold Kaimana more items, which with they can cause chaos. You met a bear that sold you potions. Sigmund. You gave some relationship counseling or tried to escape from relationship counseling. You survived an attack by some air elementals. But at the end of your...
And squirrels,
yes. Oh, and there are 14 squirrels on this ship.
Oh, I forgot about the squirrels.
Or 13. I can't remember.
13.
13 squirrels on the
14.
Ship. 14. As Kaimana shapeshifts into a squirrel. As you, on the evening of the fifth day, as off in the distance, the... large island of Nuevea with its dual volcanic mountains with a verdant volcanic valley in the middle, and approached the city itself. The capital city is Areti, and it is this massive circular in construction city which rises up the side of the taller of the two volcanoes and is divided up by walls, which as you get closer, you realize those walls are both aqueducts as well as tram systems with these stone trains that seem to be magically floating above the water. There's beautiful light floating from everywhere, most evidently from 12 beacon zephyrsite crystals that are floating above towers on the outer ring of the city that are sending beams of energy up into the air. This is a beautifully vibrant community. As you're flying over, however, a airship begins to approach off from the distance. But before we get into conversations and arrivals, with each of you having had some time in downtime with this arrival into kind of the next stage of your journey, what's going through our heads? Marlo.
I thought you were going to say we were going to level up.
No, you're not. You did not. No, you just thought elementals. You're not leveling up. Marlo. Because you're just to my right, so.
I think Mar started this journey. I think a bit quieter, a bit even more introspective than usual. And now I think they seem a little bit more confident than usual. The order badge is gone. The coat is unbuttoned. I mean, it's and I think their scar, even though it's like kind of covered by the tattoo a little bit now and healed, it is on full display.
Yep, beautiful. Saurus.
Saurus is undergoing a little bit of a reset. Like I said, from Broadfield, where he got a little too casual with the shadow tethers and wanting to kind of put some limits on himself, some guardrails. So trying to do that, and through the connection with Jane and the sending stones there, to kind of find his humanity, if you'll pardon that expression. it's because he's always been very observational and somewhat emotionally distant because this is new to him and he's observing and constantly taking in. So trying to be a little more outreaching and engaged.
Nice. Kaimana.
Yeah, so Kaimana, after all of this, is very much a changed Lutrinian. He's been through a lot. And he really has to, for the first time in his young life, be really introspective. The trope of a loss of innocence is a prevalent one, but it certainly applies here. And he's now finally starting to realize the burden that kind of comes with leadership. Is he going to act any different to the rest of the party? Well, that's up for debate. But internally, he is a very changed person.
All right, good. And then with, the two probably standing on the deck looking out at Nuevea with the most on their minds with this coming location. Abel.
I would say that Abel is obviously extremely excited to return home, especially after the big blowout at the castle, checking on his dad, seeing his mom again, but probably a bit nervous and having to have a conversation with his mom about not meeting the original expectations for his voyage to Alyria, which was to continue his schooling, and full of questions. Adventures in Alyria has led to some challenges to his beliefs, prophecy that is very disconcerting, and a unfinished conversation with his father that is bound to happen. So
your dad's in a coma, you can never finish it.
Gosh, you put us on a cliffhanger twice. This has been twice the cliffhanger.
Yep. And standing at the prow of the ship, wind blowing through your hair, Jordan.
Oh no, I shaved my head.
Oh, that's right, you did completely shave your head.
Yeah.
Just blowing across the bald dome.
My new head tattoos.
Streamlined.
Yes.
We got like an extra knot of speed out of that.
Yeah. That's why we arrived a day early.
Yeah.
So what's going through Jury's head?
Jury's most, very nervous about meeting their mom. A big, complex feeling of emotions there, but really excited. And then also feeling a little anxious because he still hasn't messaged Nairobi back, and that's probably bad. It's probably not what you should have done.
Yeah.
Thinking about it for days and still haven't done it. But
all right.
Yeah, and probably has a hand on Abel's shoulder as we're hanging out.
Good. Well, as you begin to approach, you're flying clearly, but you're approaching the outer walls of the city. And you see a beautifully lit harbor far beneath you, and this whole district of the city is stacked houses of all different primary, beautiful, bright colors, and you can see people milling about on streets below. But an airship, a Nuevean class airship, very similar to the one you're flying in, is approaching, and a voice magically enhanced speaks out of come to a halt and please identify yourselves. And as the ship kind of pulls up close to you, you see 3 or 4 armed Nuevean guards standing aboard the ship. And you also notice that several of the guns on the ship are trained on your vessel as well. So who is going to be your spokesperson here?
All right, Abel, I don't often suggest you take point, but I feel like this is a special kind of thing.
Kaimana is a squirrel right now.
There are 14 squirrels now, just like...
I think Mars
Running about the
accidentally
ship.
befriended all the squirrels by trying to corral them and keep them in line.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Mars covered in squirrels right now.
If these are the customs agents, then they're definitely not going to let us into Nuevea because these squirrels could just ruin the ecosystem.
That's true.
No,
They're
they're
Nuevian squirrels.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it was
you
a
rolled
it was
to
a,
see if
a
they're
shitty ass dice roll.
Could you imagine though committing eco-terrorism by bringing squirrels into a country?
Yeah, it's like what happened to the
It's
Nuevian
something-
ecosystem?
It's something we would
squirrels?
do. It's something we would do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, I will just yell back from the ship. We are the Adventuring Guild from Alyria, escorting Princess Alyria back to Nuevea. We'll be staying for a short time before we head back to the continent of Alyria.
All right, so the ship kind of pulls up next to yours, and they put a gangplank over. It's just coming aboard to do searches, and 3 of the men come across. As you notice, there are 3 or 4 other guys on this vessel as well, but they immediately see Abel the way you're dressed. Are you a Nuevian citizen?
Yes, I am a Nuevian citizen.
Do you have any form of identification?
I'm sure I do. And I reach into my robes and give them my birth certificate. I don't know.
No. Well, there's a few options. You have your Nuevian passport, but you also have the symbol of your mother's house. It just depends on whether you want to approach this as just a regular Nuevian citizen or the
knowing what I know
son
about
of your
Nuevea
mother.
and the fact that most non-citizens that are visiting are kind of quarantined to the Lantern District, right?
Yeah.
I'll show them my mother's house sigil, and knowing that'll probably get me a little bit more leeway as far as getting the rest of these people through the process a little bit faster.
So the moment you show them that, they kind of nod their heads. I'm sorry. We did not realize. Please make your way to the royal aerodrome. Your father told us to be on the lookout for your vessel.
Thank you. We appreciate your service.
And they very quickly disembark from the ship, remove the gangplank, and then go off. And you notice that there are, now that you're kind of seeing the skies, dozens of ships like these that are just kind of patrolling the air above. Nuevea doesn't have a very vast naval structure because they don't need it. They have a very massive Air Force fleet. All right. So the ship peels away. Yeah. The ship peels away from you, and you are now clear to make your way to the top of the mountain to the Palace District.
Nice work, Abel. I think you just fast passed us.
You'll get on Space Mountain before everyone else.
Amazing.
There are some tips to having the
TSA pre-check. You gotta love it.
All right. So you direct Limbic to fly the ship, and
towards the Royal District?
Towards the Royal District, yeah. So the slope of the mountain is, this is more of this is kind of like a Mauna Kea type situation. This is a cone-ish volcano. Not a cone volcano, it's a dome volcano. But you are making your way up to the peak of it. And you all notice at the top of the mountain, just a little shy of the crater from whatever last explosion or eruption this now dormant volcano once had. You see a ringed-in section of the city that is has a beautiful palace that has multiple tiers with water pouring off of a higher tier down to below to a pool of water that then tumbles down off into a district further down. Massive statues on either side of this raised raised area where then the palace sits on top of that. And then behind the palace, this very tall tower, very interesting because it is very similar in construction and make to some of the mage towers that you saw in Anervir, kind of here a little different than the construction of most of the other buildings in Nuevea. And then off to the west of that building is you see an aerodrome. And this is a much more advanced aerodrome than you've seen before, multi-tiered. There's a few vessels there. You do see the royal yacht that your father had flown in on, parked there, and you fly, or Olympic flies the vessel in and parks it there at the
Berths it.
berths it. Sorry, berths it. Berths it at the aerodrome, where it is immediately beginning to be refueled by the latent air rift that's present within the aerodrome. And there are a number of individuals on the dock waiting for you. Immediately, Abel, you notice two of the Abura, which are the Sovereign Guard, the all-female group of warriors standing there. And Orisha is standing at the dock waiting for you as well. But the ship berths, and the gangplank is lowered.
We would also have accepted moored as an answer.
How about
Moored,
parks
yes.
its big fat ass down?
Parks its big fat ass in the aerodrome.
Acceptable?
Okay, I have to honestly,
Swings its ticket into that.
That's what it does.
There you go.
my friend who was a navigator on a destroyer legitimately did once call it parking its fat ass. So any terminology does go.
I will go with that then.
I'm an expert.
All right.
Yeah.
Mortar puts out the gangplank, and the ship is now at a still. And you guys may begin your disembarking.
Before we all leave this ship, I know we have a lot we want to accomplish while we're here. Do we know how long we have before we have to meet up in, was it Bogtown? What was it called?
Bogtown.
With the Tidewaters? How long do we suspect we'll be here in Nuevea? I asked because while the ship is docked, I might ask for them to add some upgrades to the airship, depending on how long we're going to be here.
Are we meeting with the Tidewaters, like the Queen?
No,
Supposedly?
you're meeting with the Seablade crew, who are contractors who work for the Tidewaters.
But we don't have like a point of contact with them necessarily.
We're supposed to just meet them in Carmano's hometown?
No, in Bogtown.
In Bogtown.
In Bogtown? No, that's it. Yep.
But the Queen is in Bogtown.
No, the Queen is
Okay.
probably in the Vanishing
That's
Isles.
just where the Queen wanted us to.
Okay.
I'd say we shouldn't take too long, but I don't think. I mean, we got here pretty fast.
Yep. What I would say is find out how long it would take to add the upgrades, and then we can figure out how many we want to get based on timeline. Like if a week would give us bow and stern chasers, great. If that could be done in 4 days, even better. If it's going to take a month, then
Well, obviously, yeah.
Josh.
Yeah.
When the dragon last spoke to me, like scale of 1 to 10, how urgent did I get the sense that their life was?
Make an
in
insight
danger?
check.
Okay.
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh, gee. Ooh, I rolled a 19. So that's going to be really good. What is my insight? I forgot. 29.
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, probably an 8.
Okay. I'm gonna relate to the group. Oh wait. Hold. Have I told people about the dragon? I forgot.
I don't think you told
I
us.
think you did, because
Okay.
I think that Abel did not, and that you did.
Yeah, I think you did.
I can't remember.
Or you told Amalia? I don't know.
I feel like I told an NPC, but not the group. I think I told Lenaria and not the group.
That might have been
Oh.
it.
Is that what it was?
I think so. Like I told my
Yeah.
dad.
Well, I thought that like because of the Bogtown stuff, you divulged to us that, so you could tell us why we like needed the timetable. I thought that was part of what you did, but I
I
could be wrong.
can't remember.
Okay.
What was that you just reminded us? No.
I'll just act like I haven't told you it. Now.
Yes,
And
yes,
Okay.
that
let's
works,
do
that
that.
works.
Okay, see.
Abel, you also know that this is since this is a Nuevian constructed vessel, and you guys
Common
were
view.
you were just approached by one of almost exactly the same construction that had these guns mounted on it, that had various different things. The ships are kind of designed in a way that like it would be fairly easy to attach new items to them. It's like they're built to have new things added quickly if they need to.
Modularity.
Yeah, they're modular vessels. And so like this one was clearly built for speed, but it would be not too difficult and not take too much time to add simple modifications to the ship.
Okay. So can you and I kind of message back and forth about what would be considered simple? Like if the chase gun, if that's so simple.
Yeah. So as long as you didn't want to like replace the harpoon with a gun, so like removing something is more difficult than adding, then leaving the harpoon in place as like your main gun, you could add 2 bow chasers, one on either side of the ship, and then 2 smaller guns at the stern.
Okay.
And it would take about 48 hours for them to attach them and mount them. Remember, this is also a civilization built on artificing.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And it would take, what, 2 days to do all that?
48 hours, yeah.
Okay. I will talk to the appropriate individuals to see if we can enhance our offensive capabilities on this ship.
All right.
How long does it take to get from Nuevea to Bogtown?
It's about half the distance, 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're looking at like, if you wait for these modifications, you're looking about extending the time before you get to Bogtown by about another week.
Oh boy.
But we did shave some time off on getting here.
You did.
So
We shaved a day off.
Yeah.
Hey gang. So who's all here? Is this like everybody?
Any NPCs you would like not to be here do not have to be here at this moment.
It's fuck it. All the NPCs are here.
Okay. NPCs, Jaren,
And I
Amalia,
am covered in squirrels.
Aurora,
Canonically
and squirrels.
For this conversation.
There are 16 NPCs in this moment.
You like waited for us to be about to dismount
But I
with all our
have
stuff.
a lot of pockets in my like jacket, so they're like I've stuffed like a squirrel on the arms and like it's just, there's one in the hat. You know there's one in the hat. So if I said that Azalor is in a lot of danger right now, and I do have this information very vetted, we would all agree and maybe not ask questions.
If you felt confident about the information, then
I'm super confident.
I would say if we need to speed up our timeline, then
Yeah.
I
think the Tide Waters are going to break into Azalor, and remember that Ahriman wanted the information from the library there, and I think that's game changing. So also, I think the dragon. You know what? Fuck it. The dragon's been talking to me in my dreams.
What?
So yeah, that's been like ever since I went to Anavia, but like the first time.
Wait, how long has this been going on? You're just now telling us about this.
I don't know. It's been a couple weeks.
It's been a couple weeks since a dragon.
What do you want me to say? Oh, a dragon came to me in my dream.
Yes, I want you to say exactly that.
No, the first time I was like, well, weird dream.
Well, what are the odds of a dragon talking to anybody?
With this group, I don't fucking know anymore.
What are the
Because Abel said something, anyone is able to roll an insight check. Yeah.
You bitch, you're going down.
Roll deception, Abel.
I rolled a 1.
Abel is the most trustworthy person.
He's the hat that's in Mars.
I'm in Mars hat.
Yeah.
I rolled a 24, so.
24.
Oh my God.
You have to beat a 26 on your deception, Abel.
You beat a 24 and a 26.
And so I think the only thing you could do is
dad.
beat a natural 20. Or like roll a natural 20, I think is the only thing you can do.
Yeah, roll a nat 20 right now.
To evade the eyes.
I know,
to evade your
deception.
peers.
Yeah, there's no way.
You can do it. Roll a nat 20 right now.
Roll a nat 20 right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
not
rolled
a
a
nat 20. Interesting.
Not bad.
A 16.
Nice.
So Marlo and Jury, you both pick up on like Abel's like, yeah, why would a dragon do that? And
I feel like you see both of us just like turn and clock you.
yeah.
Listen,
Why
I
did
don't
you,
think we should be too hard on Marlo at this moment.
Why did you say it like that, Abel?
Now hang on.
What is?
If everybody here has had dragons talking to them, why am
I
I
haven't.
getting called out?
Not
for
me.
this?
It's literally both of you, and neither of you have said anything, and I'm quite pissed off about
I'm volunteering the information now. So when at a relevant time, when it became appropriate, the dragon is convinced they are in danger and saying that. So
Marlo,
we
I
need to start
appreciate
having
your
like a
insight
weekly
in-
meeting kind of thing, like a sit down and breakfast.
the
talk
dragon was coming
about
to me in my
things.
dreams about being like, you picked up my blade and you will do great things. And what was I supposed to do? Be like,
that's so
hey guys, I'm the dragon says I'm its chosen warrior.
The dragon's motivational to you. That's so good for you.
Oh, shut up!
What?
No,
Stop! It's
no,
nice.
Stop it! No, the dragon
I
is
think-
warning me about stuff.
Yes, I think you gave us the information at the appropriate time. So now that we know, we can take action to make sure that the dragon is rescued if that's necessary.
Yeah.
I will just say that some information should be saved for the appropriate time and the appropriate people.
So
And,
do we want to like not outfit our ship and go there as fast as possible?
You could forego
Well-
one of the guns and cut it into 24 hours.
Could we get them to put the stuff on the ship, and then Abel and
Sure.
Jaren.
Jaren could mount them as we go?
One night here.
Maybe potentially dangerous to mount guns while flying.
Not if they're not loaded.
Well,
No,
it's more of the
Rob.
on the side of the ship, dangling
Rob,
thousands of feet.
We do have the
Because
jetpacks.
there's no crane
Yeah.
while we're flying.
Yeah, but they
Rob,
and they
the
What do
literal
you do?
phrase
Just glue it
loose
on.
cannon exists
Yeah.
for this very reason.
But if you were
That's
going to
where
stay
it comes
24
from.
hours, you could do either the stern chasers or the bow chasers. If you just wanted one day.
We're gonna be running from shit.
It's stern.
I mean, if we think we need both, I don't want to.
and perhaps I do have.
You do have the
Josh, you and I
harpoon
can-
at the front of the ship, so
So we have the harpoon, and Josh, you and I kind of talked about back during the circus. I got those two.
you could do something with the
Spectator eyes.
spectator eyes. Yeah.
If we can whip up like some type of weapon based off that.
And that would be easier to do while flying than mounting 100-pound
So that could be
guns.
something that I can get Jury and Jaren to put our heads together, and we can like whip something up.
Yeah.
Based off.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And you can make
So,
some firework
We'll spend
grenades or
one
something.
day,
Yeah.
get the stern
Okay,
guns, right?
sure.
And then we will head off to try and see if we can rescue a dragon.
Around this time, Abel, the message comes to you. Are you all going to stay on the ship forever? Should I come back and later, perhaps? Your mother is standing on the dock.
No, mother, we are gathering our things right now.
Oh, good. Okay.
We'll be there shortly.
All right.
I should say we should get going then.
Hey, Abel.
All right.
Abel,
Yes.
is there like a wooded area around here? I've got to drop these squirrels before we go into
I
the
think,
palace. I
Is
can't.
Yeah,
there a
um,
hat with the feather on it?
I don't have a feather on my hat. No,
Oh,
No,
I thought
I'm not that much of a pirate.
it's a regular
Next
hat.
campaign.
How close is the gardens to the where we are now?
So the largest like public parks, there is a large forested public park area. There's two of them within the city. They're called the Gardens. They are two. So the city is divided into 3 tiers. So they're on the second tier. So they would be a tier below you on the mountain. So, on your way to the Lantern District, dropping them off would not be too difficult.
If you want to babysit just a bit longer, when we head back down to the Lantern District, we can give them a nice home in the gardens.
Great.
I hide myself somewhere on Marlowe's person.
Put a white streak on the one that we need to keep. So.
No, I know which one he is. He's the one that keeps wriggling around thinking I won't notice him.
Yeah. An hour later, your pocket explodes as Kaimana comes out of wild shape.
I actually want to talk to Kaimana and the rats before we leave the ship.
Okay, fine. I'll drop one.
Oh my god, get out of my hat before you do that.
Yeah, it just flops over your head.
Okay.
You ever held up a cat?
Yep. So everyone else is kind of disembarking. Soros, Kaimana, the rats are there. Mm-hmm.
Short version, because Rob's brain isn't fully functional.
No.
I tell them that they shouldn't be the rats, the dangerers anymore. That they need to aspire to be better than me. They need to be the rats, the Kai. How do you say that, Atwood?
Yeah, close enough.
Okay. Yeah.
Basically that Kaimana is our leader, and he's our leader for a reason. It's because he has the best morals, the best heart, and they're good rats. They deserve to model themselves after someone who is worthy of that. And I'll still be here as a mentor and stuff, but they really need to be. They've gone from evil to neutral to now good. They really
Kaimana starts crying.
Oh.
Babies.
Beaker.
He hugs his new Ohana, his new family.
Beaker says, "Are you also going to be a rat Decao Kai?"
I already kind of am as the ticket takers, because Kaimana is our leader too.
Well, then, as long as we're still your family, Soros, that's all that matters to us.
Oh, you are always my family. That's one of the reasons I want to do this.
Roddy.
It's because it's the ticket takers are family, and this brings you into that. Metagaming, Rob also wants to do this because it's in character for Soros, but B, I am looking forward to when we show up at Kaimana's family, and Kaimana was either just one of thousands of children, or he was that child. And to show up, that Kaimana shows up not only with the ship, but an airship. And he's the leader of the Adventurers Guild, and he has this posse of rats who are following him. Mm-hmm. Just the reaction of the village elders of going, what in the hell?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Rob, you're so not ready for that.
No.
So Josh, as we're like going to like closer to Abel's mom, I'm just gonna try to be on the outskirts and avoiding her, because I know that she's been listening in on all of our conversations now, and I'm very self-conscious that she hates me.
Okay.
As the sketchiest person in the party, I'm like, ooh.
He hates everyone, honestly. It's just...
So Arisha comes forward and hugs you, Abel. It is good to see you finally not in dire straits. Welcome home.
I am very happy to see you too, Mother. And I think that, all things considered, we did a pretty good job. Even though I know you were watching the entire time. Things did get rough, but we came through okay.
Yes, well, the aftermath of the dinner was apparently quite destructive to Nuevea, so we are still awaiting words from some of our spies as to the full extent, but These are for you. And she produces passports and hands them out to each of the ticket takers. Normally, outsiders are kept within the Lantern District area of the city, but these will provide you with a full reign around the city as long as you are present. And so you are free to travel anywhere, including the Royal District. And this should prevent any stopping from guards or issues of that nature. Are you all planning on staying in the palace for the evening?
We may.
No, if that's okay. I have someone I need to meet up with who's here.
Absolutely. I would like to tell the Major Domo how many rooms to prepare for you all. Your room in the tower, of course, is available, but if you prefer to stay with your friends...
Could I try it?
My room in the tower would be fine.
Abel's room in the tower is also large enough for all of you.
Ooh. Sleepover.
I don't remember offering my
Sleepover with Abel. Oh, Abel, you're so nice. We're all going to be in your room in the tower.
Kaimon is going to sleep on top of the cannon.
That would be, I assume his mother's the one that's like, your room is large enough.
No, that was me saying it to you.
Yeah.
We shall see. We have a lot to discuss, so it may be best for us to bunk together to get our plans together. Mother, while we are here, I plan to have some upgrades to our airship. So who would I specifically need to speak to about adding more offensive capabilities to our ship?
I would imagine your father, who designed the airship, could to make sure he put the right people on that task.
I shall ask him directly then. Thank you.
He is in the Hearthstone now. If you would, I'm going to go visit him in an hour or so. If you would like to join me,
I will meet you all there. Yes.
And you know, the Hearthstone is the original mine of the Zephyrsite, the original Zephyrsite mine, which was where they discovered that most of the mountain was Zephyrsite. And your father's laboratory is located within the Hearthstone.
Good stuff. So we will get ourselves settled, I guess.
Yeah, I did not provide passports for. I did not know that there were others other than the ticket takers available. So,
Jaren.
Jaren, you will be. Unfortunately, will need to stay within the Clockwork District. And Jaren just kind of goes, "Excuse me, did you say the Clockwork District?" I studied at the Clockwork, and she goes, "Oh, you've been to Nuevea before?" And he's, "Yes, I spent a few years at the school there." So I'd be more than pleased to not see the rest of the city and stay within this area. And Orisha says, another Nuevean artificer. Abel, he might also bring him with you when you go to the Hearthstone.
Yeah, I think you should bring him with you. Jerry just looks at you.
Thank you, Judy. That is a good idea.
I think he's very useful. And
I put a squirrel in Jerry's face.
Yes, Judy has been very useful on our travels in helping to upgrade the engines and various unforeseen obstacles we've been able to work together to fix. So.
All right. So as you all are kind of set free, just to sense that somebody is provided with you who can answer any questions that you might have about this city. You kind of have a contact within the palace area. And so if there is anything in particular that you might want to accomplish in the next 24 hours before you all set out again, the Clockwork District is the district that surrounds the royal palace. It is the home of all of the artificers, and it is so called because you can kind of see that around you, but beneath you on the aerodrome, there are just dozens and dozens and dozens of the most beautifully constructed clocks rising off of buildings. And it's interesting to see some of them because like that one's clearly telling time, but that one seems to be, I don't know, recording the passages of the moons. That clock seems to be recording the transversals of the planes of existence. That clock, God knows what it does, but it's moving. And so it seems that once artificers reach a certain rank, reach a certain,
like that.
Yeah, I need that on a shirt, honestly.
God knows what it does, but it's moving. Once artificers reach a certain rank within the clockwork, something that they do is they build a clock as a sign of their arrival. And so the Clockwork District is full with that kind of thing. So if there's anything artificing that you'd like, artificing adjacent that you would look for, that would be where you need to go.
Magic shops, or
the Solemnity Ward is south of this district, and it is the home of the religious sects within Nuevea. So if for some reason that you wanted to visit a temple, specifically they have temples to Mystariel and Metasansi here, as well as a standard temple of the Eight. Beneath that are the gardens, and the gardens kind of separate the second district from the third district. Also within the second district is the Amethyst Canton. It's home of the Amethyst Assembly, which is the mage quarter within the Nuevian society. And so if you're looking for magic shops, specifically, they would address you to go to the Magica Magnifique. And so there's a magic shop within there that you might be able to go to. The mining district is the Zephyrsite district, and that's where Abel will be going for the Hearthstone. And then the southernmost district around the harbor is the Lantern district. So if you're looking for anybody who is not of Nuevian origin but happens to live in Nuevea, that's where they would be located. It is a beautifully raucous, colorful district of all kinds of different people from all different places. And so there are shops, there are bars, there are entertainment venues, anything that you might need, you could find in the Lantern District. So aside from Abel going to the Hearthstone, anywhere else would we all like to go?
Nice little magic shop.
I'm not going to go shopping unless somebody's bringing a checkbook with them.
No,
I mean, I have plenty of coin. If anyone wants to buy anything, Mar would offer their bags many of gold.
I might as well take your hand and say, let's go see if there's anything we need.
Okay. First things first, we're going to a park.
That would be on the way.
Squirrel drop off.
Yep.
I want to go to the magic shops with Abel and Kaimana and them. I also want to find what is the name of the city again?
So the capital city of Nuevea is called Ireti. That's also the name of the mountain that it's built on. Yeah.
Okay. I want to see if I can find an Ireti snow globe.
Okay, so that would probably be, I mean, like, if you're going to the, like, what would be considered like the touristy shops where you could find things like that, then that would absolutely be in the Lantern District.
Nuevian
so you can find
tourist
that.
traps?
Yeah.
I want a shirt.
Hermit crabs.
Yeah, what you're all picking up, the Lantern District is the second largest district within the city. But it is literally like it is walled off from the rest of the city. Passage in and out of the Lantern District is heavily controlled. Nuevians do not want people from outside Nuevia to have free reign within their society. So that's absolutely, anybody who's visiting Nuevia is going to be in the Lantern District. So of course, tourist traps galore. You're gonna. There's like not a Captain Bill's. There's a
Wings.
There's a Wings. There's a martini or not a martini, Margaritaville.
Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Hey Josh, do you remember? Did Nairi tell me what bar it was my mom was at?
He did not. He just said a small bar near the docks.
So I think knowing it's a pretty big place.
Yes.
If Abel telling us about the setup for everything, I'm like, I'll go with you guys for a little bit, and then I need to go. Like, Nairi said my mom was here, and if you guys want to come with me, you're welcome to come with me. But especially if we're only spending a little bit of time here.
Yeah, we can make our way down that way as a group.
We could do it after an initial thing. I'm kind of very nervous about it. So we could totally do something else first and then work our way to that.
Right. So
we make our way down, go to the magic shop.
You're going to go with them before you go to the Hearthstone, Abel?
Well, it's not for an hour, right?
Yeah.
So I have an hour to kill. So I'll hang out with them.
All right. And transversal through the city is very fast because every single one of the walled structures within here is also a tram. So the aqueduct system that carries water throughout the city, they've constructed these trams that float above the aqueducts. And so from the Royal District, it's not hard to catch a tram. You can stop off at the gardens to drop off your squirrel friends.
Are Bolna and Zell just chilling in the Lantern District?
The moment you guys kind of start gathering your things, Bolton and Zell are approached by two of the Abura, and they are very, not ceremoniously, but quickly escorted into the palace. And you just kind of see, and Zell kind of like looks back in your direction, Marlo, and gives you a look that says, it's okay, but we won't be joining you, basically. As
they
two
considered like foreign military personnel.
They are foreign spy operatives. Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty fair.
Yeah. Alora also kind of says to each of you, like, I think I'm going to take up my old residence within the palace and relax a little bit. I'd love to see you all for dinner, perhaps.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Good. Good. So it is, it's like 5 o'clock or so. So you've got a few hours to kill before dinner time. If island culture, they might not eat until 8 or 9, who knows, but you hop on a tram, you glide down the mountain, and it stops at the garden stops, and it's a beautiful location, these beautiful trees with rainbow colored bark and silvery green leaves that kind of shimmer and shake in a light wind. There's fragrant, beautiful flowers like hibiscuses and tropical flowers of all kinds that are growing in this area. But once you disembark into this space, it's quiet and removed from the rest of the city. And there's just people kind of walking along well-tended garden paths that are lit by floating orbs, magical orbs that kind of light the path along the way. And it's not very difficult to find a secluded space to drop off 13 squirrels.
I
say goodbye to each and every one, but like turned away, so hopefully people don't see me do this.
No.
It's like one at a time, and they
and I check and make sure that they are that they will be happy.
Oh, I can talk to the squirrels, so I'm like having full conversations. Being like, okay, goodbye.
Let's see if I see Marlo having a personal moment with each of these squirrels.
Sure, you can roll perception.
Stealth.
Yes.
Oh no!
Roll your perception against Marlo's stealth.
Marlo's stealth is like astronomical. It's ridiculous.
Perception, you say?
Yes.
I'm not rolling. I'm busy.
No. Nah, 13.
13.
Oh man.
31?
Jeez.
I know, like 84.
How did the rogue do?
No, it's only a 29.
Only a 12.
Yeah.
Only. So
Almost had it.
Yeah. So
We
you're
could be picking fleas off of them. Or...
you're all distracted
No
by
idea what's going on.
the beautiful, like these rainbow barked trees are gorgeous, and there's wildlife kind of wandering throughout. That you see some like white deer, small in structure, maybe more like ibixes, or with the kind of the curly horns.
Do they bow?
They're not Nara deer. They don't bow, but they do keep kind of moving along. And then eventually Mar comes back and is unladen with squirrels as they have scampered out. Soros, you did talk to the squirrels, and they're like, this is really nice. This is a really nice place. Like, we just lived out like in like a forest, and there were a lot of like predators and things. I don't smell any predators here. I feel like we could like really build a society here.
I think that would be excellent. And the Nuevians are good people. They may even give you nuts and stuff if you play your cards right. You can work the populace.
Yeah, there's one that kind of comes up is like, you're saying we could get some nuts out of all this? I mean, I think that's a really good bargain.
Well, that's old Janet.
He's like this
squirrel.
grayish squirrel with like patchy fur.
I love him. Let's keep that one.
I
There's
pick him up and
that knows a
I pick
guy.
him up and I go, Patches, no.
patches.
Mark for sure.
Bootlegging in the forest.
They all have names. Yeah.
Whatever you say, boss.
Okay, whatever you say, boss. So they all scamper off into the bushes or up into the trees, and you are free to keep traveling further down. So you reboard the trams, and they glide right down towards the glistening harbor here in the setting sun. And as you approach the Lantern District, it's like approaching like the French Quarter during the good months of travel within Louisiana, right? Like there's people walking everywhere, but the buildings here are all colored bright reds and greens and blues and purples, and there's shimmering fountains and water everywhere. There's a whole district of this that's built on a series of small lakes, and there are floating kind of docked structures here. This is a very vibrant quarter. And you imagine that it doesn't quiet down even late into the night. But you disembark in the harbor, and there are some ships that are docked there. Not very many, but that are unloading cargo or loading cargo to take some to other places. And there are just people milling about everywhere that you want to look.
So we're currently...
In the Lantern District, unless you wanted to stop at the magic shops before you got here. Okay, sorry. Say cool. So, so south of the Garden District, you hop the next stop into the Amethyst Canton, and here, all of the buildings are constructed. They're purple and blue sapphire in color, very austere. There's a large kind of school building where there are people in very school uniforms that are going from place to place. This is the place of learning for those who are interested in studying magic. And you make your way, as suggested from the person who kind of was giving you directions, to the Magica Magnifique, which is floating... There's a large pool of water at the center of the Amethyst Canton, and what appears to be a giant tortoise shell floating in the middle of although it's probably constructed to look that way, it's not an actual tortoise shell, is floating there. And on top of that is this beautiful building with hanging ivy and with this massive magic shop. And there's a glass bridge that stretches over from the beach side to the shell itself. And there's a swirling kind of cursive scrawling magical quill in the air that keeps writing out Magica Magnifique over and over again. And you make your way indoors. there's a series of chimes that go as you enter. And inside, this building is much larger on the interior than it is on the exterior. So on the outside, it looked like this beautiful the large but one floor construction. This is a 3-tiered magic shop. There's a large like half octagonal counter space in the middle, and then there are just rows and rows and rows of shops that shoot up 3 floors above you. And then even though it was kind of dark outside, there are windows in here that are streaming in golden light that kind of sparkles and shimmers as it falls into the area. And immediately you are greeted by 3 Herengon. There's one kind of up on a ladder that stretches up to the 2nd floor, and the ladder slides over and he flips off and kind of lands in front of you. And then there's another one behind the counter, and then another one who's putting potions onto a shelf. And they kind of come up, oh, hello, how can we help you today? I'm Ikan. And then the next one says Meji, and the third one says Meta. How can we help you?
It's the eater of the rabbit.
It's so cute.
How appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have friends here visiting from Alyria, and they wish to see what type of magical items you have to offer.
You hear a voice coming from behind the counter as coming out from this beautifully like beaded curtain. You see a large centaur. They step out from behind the counter, and braided long hair that kind of comes down, wearing a beautiful sapphire robe that trails along their hindquarters and then kind of towards the ground. Golden cuffs on the end of each of their hooved feet, and holding a staff in their hand. And they say, well, if anybody knows the Magica Magnifique, you know that this is a magic shop where anything can be found if you want it hard enough. Welcome. I am Inthunin Adunath, head mage of the Magica Magnifique. Inthunin.
No, I don't
No, no, figure it out. Inthunin Adunath.
What was the last name?
Adunath.
That's what
I have a
Kaibana
better
says
stance
when he's
with that.
confused.
Yes.
New romantic interest just dropped high. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Non-binary they them.
I love them. Centaur. I don't think I've ever seen a centaur.
Very rare.
Me
Like
neither.
I don't
I
think.
was gonna say. We're trying to like look respectfully.
I'm trying to
but I feel
think.
Like I'm just like
none of
whoa.
the 2 major regions of the world where centaurs. So outside of Alyria, so before the Veil, the centaurs had a massive kingdom in one of the continents, but it was mostly wiped. I mean, it was wiped out in the Veil. There are a few centaur colonies in the rugged north of Alyria, which none of you are from, but. So Inthunin may be the last of their kind in this space. Mm-hmm.
I put a hand on Abel's shoulder and I'm just like, I may never leave this place.
Yeah. And
Nuevea is amazing.
as they move, you can kind of see like magical tattoos down their hindquarters, and they're like Palomino style back half. But these magical tattoos of blue and green that are shimmering and shining along their furred area. Their tail is beaded with golden rope, basically. And so there's just there's everything about them is elegant and expensive and magical. But this shop, anything can be found if you want it hard enough.
Ooh.
So from a player's perspective, there's a chance that any magic item that you can imagine can be located in this shop.
Holy shit.
But it would take a force of will to summon it and then a certain amount of coin to purchase it.
Are we willing to pay the prices?
Atwood, no. Atwood, I see the gears in your little brain turning.
Josh, I messaged you a question. If you could.
Yes.
that
Oh, yeah,
for me.
And okay. Do you mean to
No,
answer?
don't answer it out loud. How dare you put me on blast? Ask that out loud.
No, it's chill.
Don't act like we could guess.
It wasn't. You have no idea what I was asking.
No,
I
I just said
know.
Enzel, you're
Were you
fine.
asking if the centaur looked like George Miller? Is that what you were asking?
No, I have a distinct feeling
like
they
your
do
question.
not. I'm too intimidated to talk to them.
Josh,
Yes.
Kaimana's heard tell of magical items.
Okay. Yeah.
Like any like legendary ones, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Ooh.
And he knows that the tide bonds are magic items.
True. They are artifacts, though.
But would it count?
So you could ask Indunin if they would have access to those types of items here. There are limitations to their ability.
I'm not
Like if an item is a one of a kind item, so for instance, you could not summon in this space a Arms of the Subversion.
Okay.
You could not summon artifacts, but the implication of this, and just to give you a little bit of lore, the three Harengon are all, there's actually only one of them, but they are all copies of each other. There's actually 14 of them that work in this space. And each of the, like Ekan, Meji, and Meta, 1, 2, and 3. And so there's the 14 of them that exist here. They have been working within this space for, Abel knows this shop probably. It's existed longer than his mom's been alive. And they have been constructing magic items in this space for 75 years. And so the aspect of anything you can imagine is probably here, in the sense that we've probably made it already. It's just a matter of finding it. This space is so massive.
Josh, your brain is so cool, and the stuff you make is so incredible. I can't even fathom it sometimes.
Thank you.
I can go first if other people are thinking.
Yeah, so you could probably imagine anything sub-legendary level, let's say.
I would like something that's possibly an upgrade from my glamour-studded leather armor, if that's possible.
Sure.
Something AC boosting.
So Inthunin kind of looks at your armor. Oh, glamour weave armor. Not too difficult to upgrade.
Simple guy.
We could provide a glamour studded leather +1, which would increase the AC by an additional 1. It would be 4,000 gold pieces.
Let me see. I think I look at Mar for could I get a little help?
How much do you need?
I need maybe 1,000 perhaps.
I'll drop you 1,000.
Thank you.
This also comes with an additional enchant where once per day you can gain advantage on a charisma check as well.
Oh, fantastic.
And they're not speaking in that language, but you understand.
Sure,
what that means,
but we're talking magic. We start talking magic. I feel pretty
yeah, so the easiest way to do that is just take your original glamour studded weave and go into it and add an additional modifier that just increases the AC by 1 for yourself.
Can do. Thank you. That's all I require.
All right.
Now the chaotic folk can work their magic.
I don't know.
Can I get what I'm looking for is like a sheath that if you I'm gonna describe something here and you tell me if it's possible. Like if you put your weapon into it, it would disappear and hide.
Oh, a hidden sheath. You don't want it to become ethereal or to go into a pocket dimension. You just want it to become invisible.
Yeah, just invisible to the naked eye.
Do we have anything of such? Roll a d20 and add your Constitution modifier. This is a reference to, well, let's say Wisdom modifier.
Oh, that's really good.
Either con or Wisdom, because this is a reference to your willpower.
They're the same thing. It's a 19.
19. Okay, let's see. All right. So Ekan kind of jumps up on to the countertop, and Inthunin kind of looks down and whispers in Ekan's ears, and he hops off the countertop and then scrawls up onto a ladder. The ladder swings over, and just as it's hitting the edge of its base, it like clangs against the base, and he flips off of it onto another ladder that's up on the 3rd floor, and it swings around, and he starts just throwing things from a shelf. And as they're flying through the air, Inthunin just like taps their staff on the ground, and they begin to slow fall in these bubbles of light. And as they're looking, grabs one. This may do, and sets it out. And you see this beautiful sheath, probably designed for a short sword, but as a magic item, it can probably change its shape to fit whatever item you put into it. This has a charge, which once per day, you can cause your item to go invisible. As long as it is sheathed, it will remain invisible. However, once you remove it from the sheath, it would no longer be invisible.
That's perfect.
This item is 1,150 gold pieces.
Great.
All right. Is that for you?
Shut the fuck up. No, it's not for me. Gosh. I can pull my weapons from the ethereal plane. No, it's not for me.
All right.
I want to ask. I know we have a couple of things. Okay, yeah.
As you're talking to them, and Thunin's looking at you very closely, that's not on. And they touch your necklace.
Oh,
sorry. That's to Abel. Sorry.
I also have a necklace on.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Sorry.
Necklace. I have a necklace. The necklace that came out of the puzzle box?
No, your necklace, your beaded necklace.
Oh, the one that I usually wear?
Yeah.
It is not on?
No. Those are beads of linking.
I am not linked to anyone, so.
Oh.
Wow.
I'm sorry for you.
Wow.
I am still quite young. Being linked to someone is not.
Can I make a history check? I gotta know about this.
Is this like a marriage thing?
Yeah, sure. Anybody can make a history check.
Except for me.
I mean, yeah.
So good. I got a 22.
Yeah.
What's my history?
22 to be nosy, Josh. To nose upon my friends.
Oh my god, shut up. I also got a 22.
Nice.
Oh my god.
So a little bit of this is using just the knowledge of lore from another culture that you might not be super familiar with, but also just noticing how Ogwin and Orisha have used these. The ceremonial beads that Nuevians wear are called beads of linking. And when you are partnered with another person, and it could be a parent, like you could link with a parent or a friend, but it binds your two beads together. And that's what allowed Orisha to always know where Ogon was and to teleport to his location immediately when, yeah.
I wondered what that teleportation was. I was like, what the hell was that?
Gosh, that's so romantic. I'm obsessed. I love the idea of magical items.
So me and Mar, but like, I feel like we both get this knowledge and we both look at each other like, I look at you like.
Yeah.
Speaking of teleporting, that's actually I am obviously an artificer, an enchanter, but teleportation magic and travel magic has always seemed to sort of escape me. Do you have anything that would be useful in giving me more transportation options? Say if I'm under attack and pinned down, I need to get away from an enemy, or
surely
I need to meet a friend quickly.
Would this be something that you would like to wield to wear?
not something that would take my focus to attune to it.
So you would need an item of use. Also, Jury, were you interested in selling your old glamour weave?
Yeah, if I
They'll
can.
purchase
That'd
it
be
off.
awesome.
They'll purchase it off you for 400 gold.
A trade-in?
Yeah.
Sick.
So if you want to take 400 off the trade-in price, yeah.
Oh, I get 400 back?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's not
No,
what I meant
Mara
to do.
gets 400 back.
I give Mar 200.
And I was going to say, I also have a rod of retribution. If you are interested in.
Oh, we are always interested in purchasing good magic items. Okay. Where is... Hold on. Trying to see what the item level of this is before I create a completely different item level. Rare. Does it require attunement? It doesn't. Really?
Ooh. Ho, ho, ho. Lucky.
It does not say that it requires attunement. Hold on, let's see.
One moment. It's okay. I'm fighting D&D Beyond.
It doesn't. Go ahead and roll a d20 and add your Constitution or your Wisdom modifier. This is your willpower.
Is Tin? Oh,
Nope,
sorry.
we don't have the
Sorry,
license
I know.
for that song.
I just get so excited. Ooh, a 15 plus some numbers.
That's good enough. 15 is fine for this item. So Meji kind of opens up a trap door in the floor and throws it open. And if you look down where Meji disappears, there are 3 floors of shelves that are below the floor of this shop. And there's just a whole like system of weirdly moving platforms and ladders that descend down into the darkness there. And Meji dives in and eventually throws 2 items up onto the shelf, and they're laid out in front of you. And Inthunan says, well, this is a Cape of the Mountebank, traditional magic item that allows you once per day to cast the Dimension Door ability, where you can teleport 500 feet away. It then would require you to rest to regain the magical power in order to do it again the next day. However, this wand, and they push forward a wand. This is a wand of Misty Step. So if you're more interested in traversal around an area, this one will allow you to do that. Neither of these will take up an attunement slot for you.
A wand of Misty Step.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know enough about D&D to know which would be better.
So Misty Step allows you to teleport 30 feet to an unoccupied space that you can see. And the way that this one would have 2 charges, so you'd be able to use it twice per day, basically. But it's not a guarantee at the end of the day that the charges would respawn. You'd roll a d4 and you would take half of that. So it'd either regain 2 or 1 charge at the end of each day.
Okay.
Yeah, your advantage with 2 charges is you can move somewhere and back.
Yeah.
The Dimension Door one, you're going to be stuck
It's a
somewhere.
1, but that's up to 500 feet away. So it's just, are you looking for something that you can use in the midst of a battle, or are you looking for something else?
I think I would rather do the Misty Step.
Okay.
Misty Step is fucking banger.
Love Misty Step. All right.
It's good.
So let me just double check the wand is again that it will be it is 2nd level conjuration. Let me just double check prices really quick.
And I have a rod of retribution that I could trade in if you're interested.
Oh, let me see. What level rarity is a rod of retribution?
That is just a freaking. I think it's legendary.
Wow.
It's not.
on one of the boards I'm on, somebody's like, okay, the I forget what they called it, the ring of the wordsmith, but basically it lets you change one letter of any spell name.
Oh God, I love that.
Oh my
And so
God,
it's like, instead
that's
of raised
funny.
dead, it's raised dad.
Yeah.
It's musty step instead of misty step.
Yeah.
No.
And it just goes on from there.
That's funny. I like
The
that.
Rod of Retribution. Okay.
Uncommon.
If you traded in the Rod of Retribution, that would take $300 off the price, or 300 gold off the price. The Cape of the Montbank is 3,000 gold. The Misty Step is 3,500 gold.
What else does the Cape of the Mountain Bank do?
It just allows you to cast Dimension Door once per day, but it does not require attunement.
Okay, no, I'll take the wand.
3,500, so reduce that to 3,200 with your trade-in. Or
Okay.
30, what did I say, 500 for
Well,
the
first,
thing? Yeah.
does anyone in the group think they could use a rod that shoots lightning? If
Does it take attunement?
it does require attunement.
Okay. I was going to say, because
Okay.
if it doesn't require attunement, it'd be fantastic for a melee fighter, but yeah.
It does require attunement.
I'm good. Feel free to trade in.
I sent you 2 things, Josh.
Okay, I'll take that. 3,200 wand of Misty Step. God, man, that just fucking.
I will have to make the item and I'll put it in your thing.
Okay.
Oh, I can't see that because I don't have that game. Hold on. But the other one. Oh, I love that one. I love that magic item. Okay. That will require me to I have to pull 2 books because I can't pull it up on the internet because I don't
Okay.
well, hold on. Let me see.
I was gonna say, can these just for fun flavor sets, Kaimana just finds these because he thinks they look cool. It has nothing to do
Sure.
with
Yeah.
he subconsciously finds what he really, really wants. But it's just oh, that looks neat.
Yeah. So as you're looking, so you find this necklace with this heavy gold beaded gold chain linked, and it has a frothing pint, but it's bedazzled with topaz gems, and then the frothy area is like a cloudy diamond gems. And Meta kind of goes, oh, no, please don't touch the merchandise until Master Inthunin has said that it is all right. And Inthunin just says, Meta, it's all right. Are you interested in that item, little one?
Yes.
Oh, well, that is, and they make a motion and it flies out of your hand and into Inthunin's grasp. Oh, quite an interesting item. And they lay it out. Well, that is 1,500 gold.
Do we have 1,500 gold?
Yeah, we have 1,500.
And then
I can cover the full thing. Does anyone feel like shipping in?
And then as you are talking, one of the items that Ekan had knocked down first that was just floating down, it just happens to settle next to this necklace, and it's just a pipe. It's just a pipe. But for some reason, Kaimana's eye is caught on it, and Inthunin goes, well,
It's pretty.
if you get both, it's only 1,700.
It'd be
What?
leaving money on the table to not get both.
Do you even know what it does?
No.
I gave Kaimana 200 gold.
Thank you.
What?
I'll chip in.
Marv, you'll get the
What
rest
does-
of it.
what
Thank
do-
you.
May I ask
what?
what
The
pipe
so well now.
Oh, that is it's a joke item. Probably it's something that people might use at a party to entertain guests. It's a pipe of smoke monsters. It creates monsters out of smoke. They don't do anything.
All right. Nope. I wait. So what? It was 1,500 and Drew gave 200. And
So it's 1,500 because the 200 for the pipe is already on the table. So it's just
Right.
1,500 for the necklace.
okay.
which is a really blingy. It's a blingy necklace with like a beer stein on it, basically.
And have we established what that does as well?
Well, it's an amulet of the drunkard. If somebody were to drink alcohol while wearing it, they might regain some of their constitution.
It's awesome.
Oh, perfect.
He needs that.
I mean, yeah, no, that's incredible. Yeah, all right. I hand the money to Kaimana, so Kaimana can pay.
Thank you.
And Thunin, Meta takes the money and deposits it in a little satchel. Anything else?
I'm good.
Source, anything particular for Source?
I am looking for a Tome of Understanding. Normally they're +2, which is way more expensive than I can afford. But is there one of +1 that I could get for 2,100 or less?
Tome of Understandings are quite rare. They look at Abel for a second. The last known copy of a Tome of Understanding on the island of Nuevea was read by one Ogon Abioye. I believe he was the last to check that book out from the library.
That is my father. We could see if perhaps it is in his collection.
However, I don't believe even with 2,100, a tome +1 is easily locatable. But there is one on this island. And I believe somebody had the last copy.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else?
I'm good.
All right. So around the time that this goes, Abel, you realize that about an hour has passed if you want to make your way to the Hearthstone.
Yes, I will leave the rest of you to make the journey on your own. I will go and meet my parents. Jared, if you would like to join me.
Sure. I'd be happy to. I would love to see the Hearthstone. Oh, sorry. Jaren's not there. Jaren's in the Clockwork.
Oh,
he couldn't leave the Clockwork.
Oh, darn.
But you can pick him up. The Hearthstone is connected to the Clockwork, so you can pick him up on your way back.
Cool. Do you all want to just send me a message later and meet up? Or
Yeah, we can just meet you at the place.
Okay. I will see you all later then.
See you then, bestie.
All right.
Yeah, I give you a hug.
All right. So
I'll whisper in your ear, good luck and don't be nervous.
Thank you. You too.
All right. So Abel makes his way back to the tram station to catch tram back up the mountain. And what would the rest of you like to do?
Anyone else have plans?
I would like to puff on my pipe.
Okay. So you puff on your pipe.
Look at him. He's so cute.
It's the mental image.
Right.
What shape would you like it
For
to
their
take, Kaimana?
ass.
Is it completely random?
He's a little man.
Use the action to exhale.
Oh, it's a single creature. Okay. So what creature do you want it to take the shape of?
We'll do, since I've only seen one of these really in the flesh, I'll do a frog hemoth.
Yeah, and it can be any creature. It's just such as these. And you have seen a dragon before, but as Kaimana blows out, and you're smoking old tobacco, Kaimana, because it's just was in the pipe. And
Old Toby.
no, but it's a little, like dry on the palate. But when you blow it out, it kind of, this 1 foot cube kind of space of smoke begins to swirl around, and you all see the three eye stalks, the large body, the long barbed tail of a frog hemoth take shape there in the air, and it just kind of like
Does it look like the actual monster? Or is it
It's just made out of smoke.
Wow, how much gold did we pay for that?
And then it fades into
Crazy.
it dissipates into nothing. Yeah.
Well, you can't put a price on entertainment.
Technically, it was 200 gold, which is exactly what your money was for. So I think you paid for this.
That's true.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's.
Kamon's gonna turn to you, Jerry, and go. You want to hit?
No.
Nope,
All right.
not at all.
Pass.
Nope.
All right.
I give Kaimana one of my sending stones. It's the one that connects to Beaker.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you now have the other sending stone for Beaker. All right. So you guys hop on the tram and head down the mountain towards the Lantern District. And my previous description of this beautiful place applies.
Yes.
And you disembark into the throngs of people, and you see people dressed like Alyrians. You see Kaimana, there's a couple island dressed individuals walking around. You don't spot any Lutrinians, but you do see people wearing Vanishing Isles style garb. People wearing clothing that doesn't seem to match any location that you're familiar with. Maybe just they escaped with the Nuevians and have kind of maintained some element of their culture from beyond the veil. But there's ports and people shouting and hawking fish and shellfish and all kinds of items here on the docks. And then there are colorful, beautiful taverns with people kind of like pouring out of them, holding their beer steins. It's a very party atmosphere in this area of the Lantern District because this is the disembarkation place for most visitors to the area. You pass by a large shop called Sundries and Maelstroms, and it just looks like a swapping shop, or like where people can like things that were lost or found on the ocean, or items of random renown that were located. If there's anything in particular that you need that's not magical in nature, you might be able to find it there.
Could I go really quickly and not like in character, but could I just sell my rapier that I'm no longer using, my normal not god rapier?
It was just a standard not +1, right?
Just a regular old rapier.
Yeah, they'll buy it from you for 15 gold pieces.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get that off my person.
Yep, you're good.
And I want to get the snow globe.
Oh, okay. So
that I promptly give to Kaimana.
So you go into Sundries. You go into Sundries and Maelstroms, and it is like there are just like fishing nets tied to the ceiling and the rafters, and they're just dangling, and they're overflowing with like casks of ale and spices and all kinds of random shit. It smells lovely in here. It smells like a spice market, and there's no counter space or anything like that, but kind of like walking between the aisles, you see this tall braided kind of small hair, no mane, but it's kind of attached to their space. A female lionin with an eye patch over one eye, and she's wearing a very sailor-like garb, and she's kind of walking, and she goes, "Hi, welcome to the Sundries and Maelstroms, Vertaza. Anything in particular looking for? New faces in the Lantern District, I can tell by your wide expressions."
Snow globe.
Snow globe. Well, let's see. And she begins to kind of look through some of the nets in the ceiling, and she finds like another place where she's going through. One-eyed lionin. She's looking, and you see like there's a shelf of snow globes right in front of her, and she is just looking everywhere except for where the snow globes actually are. I can't seem to put my eye on one at all. I thought I had a whole shelf of them around here somewhere. Maybe it's in the back.
I'll use
space.
Mage Hand, and I like tap on one of the snow globes.
Oh, they're right here.
Yeah.
I've got, it's weird, I got a shipment of them. There's a whole bunch of Mount Adronis snow globes here for some reason. Any particular snow globe you're looking for?
a one for this city.
Oh, an Ireti snow globe. Let's see. Oh, this one. And she pulls one off and kind of shakes it. And it is like a resin depiction of the ocean with the island of Nuevea. And you can see a miniaturized version of the city of Ireti on the mountain, and like 12 little beams of light shooting up from the zephyrsite crystals within the snow globe. And when you shake it, like the light disseminates through and it creates kind of like rainbows in the water.
How much?
Oh, 2 gold pieces.
Great. I pay it and I give it to Kaimana.
Fantastic.
I don't know whether Kaimana is collecting snow globes or I'm collecting snow globes and Kaimana is holding on to them. But every major city we go to, I'm getting one.
Yeah.
It's like a mutual hobby.
And Vertaza kind of goes, oh, also this free with a purchase. And she tosses you a small little gray or brown paper like envelope about this big. Seems to be filled with some kind of powder of some kind.
Ooh.
Oh, we just bought a pipe, so
I give it to Kaimana.
Okay. You have undetermined powder.
Pardon.
Medicine check real quick.
Yes, go make a medicine check.
As someone new to this place and to the city, what is the customary gift?
17.
Customary gift.
What is that? Is what I'm asking.
Oh, well. Oh, that's that's just some lantern spice.
17.
I would like to take the packet from Kaimana.
Kaimana, it is.
You're gonna have to fight me for that packet back.
When you open it, Kaimana, it has a very fungal smell. It smells like it might be some kind of powdered fungus of some kind. Difficult to tell what it does, though. It's not one you're familiar with.
Can I make like an attack roll to get that from Kaimana?
Sure. Kaimana, it'd be, let's say, grappling check, so you can use your strength, and Kaimana can use his dexterity.
Oh, do I have to use my strength though?
Let's see. With you we'll say you can use your dexterity too.
Thank you.
Dex versus Dex.
Dex versus Dex.
Watching them fight.
Dex save or just a Dex?
Just a dex check. Dex versus Dex.
Come on, Kaimana, you're a wiggly little
20.
beast.
Oh.
21.
Damn.
Starts to slip out of your grasp, but you manage to pop the envelope out of his hand.
You just ask me when you want to use that, and we'll have a conversation about it. Cool.
I blow a flump into her face.
This cloud of smoke leaves Kaimana's mouth and then takes the shape of this small, cute little, like with tendril eyes, jellyfish-like creature that just loop, loop, floop, and then dissipates into
I
smoke.
don't know if that's the way we should be treating someone who just dropped 1,500 gold on us.
Mars went full mom on you.
It's
You
okay,
want to go to
Kaimana.
McDonald's again, young man?
Come on, a drug.
I'm not saying that you can't use it. I'm just saying that I think this should be done in moderation, and I think that
in a
it should be
safe
done
place.
in a safe place,
Sure.
and so that way, when you want to use it, I'll be right here with you.
Yeah. But Taza is hearing some of this conversation and just goes, well, the first taste is always free, of course, but there's more to be bought if you need
Stop.
some more of it.
Don't.
Yeah, no.
Make an
Sorry.
intimidation check.
Sorry,
I'm making one too.
A 19, ridiculously high.
Vertaza rolled a 7, so yeah.
I
that
also
works, yeah.
rolled like a 21 or
Nice.
something.
So they
Parent
put their claws up and they find themselves busy somewhere else.
Sorry, she still got that deck of cards.
Can we do jury
Just the
jury
rebellious stage.
task right now?
Okay.
And perhaps save the card thing for later.
Fine.
So you
Or we
make
can do it later.
so
I've
Jordan,
never stopped you before.
Yep.
you are trying to
looking for a
find a tavern. Now, somebody can assist you in this effort, but it will be an investigation check.
All right. Who's my investigator friend?
I'll help.
All right.
You know it's
So-
around the docks something. So you're kind of asking around, seeing if anybody's heard of Wisteria or a bar like that. So you have advantage on the check. Investigation.
I got I gotta do math now because I'm rolling real dice. 17.
17. It takes asking a couple people. And people want to keep it directing you to some of the larger, more touristy, tavern establishments, the River Rats and the different little places. And you hear piano tinkling out of some of the bars here and things, and music and people drinking and laughing. Finally, you find somebody who goes, we'll just see an outsider asking about Wisteria's place. It's kind of off the wall, off the grid. You're looking for Tides and Eddies. It's kind of points down the main thoroughfare here. You want to get to the fountain, not the fountain that's in the shape of the mermaid, but the fountain that's in the shape of the merman. Probably like the third fountain, I think, because there's an orca. No, or was it a dolphin?
This is really important. Please remember.
It's a walrus? Anyway, the merman fountain, you want to go the second right off of the circle there. And then it's down a little bit and it's an alleyway. A little hard to miss because of the wisteria, which is not a native plant. But yeah, so you're kind of looking for tides and eddies.
All right, this is the most important day of my life. Thank you.
All right.
And I'll run off.
All right. Now, is everyone going with Jordan to this special engagement?
Y'all are invited.
I asked Jordan if they want us to go with them or just be close by in case they need us.
You're welcome to be close by. It's a bar, so
yeah.
Feel free. Bar.
All right. So you all make your way down past first a mermaid fountain, then past a sea turtle fountain. It was neither a orca or a dolphin or a walrus.
Do you think it was any of those things?
And then you finally get to a merman fountain and you take the second right off of the circle and you make your way down. And it's so weird. You're only 100 feet down this road and the first whiff of fragrant flower smell hits you. And it takes you immediately home. The large trellises of wisteria that your mother had planted when she had first moved into the Windsor estate. Such beauty in that volcanic, industrial space that was Cindervale. And it just is drifting down the thoroughfare here. And you kind of follow your nose. And you find yourself to a little alleyway. You turn left down the alleyway, and there's just a small little. It's LeBlanc in Persona 5. It's just kind of off in the corner. This unsuspecting little establishment. There's no magic to the sign that's outside of it. It's a hand scrawled sign that says Tides and Eddies. But there is the gentle sound of music drifting from inside, and looking through the window, you can see it's not too cold here, but a beautiful fireplace that's kind of burning, and there's just hanging wisteria vines around the front entrance of this space. But this is where you were directed to find Wisteria's shop or her bar.
I get up to the door and I look back at all of you and I nod, going in.
Okay. So as Jerry crosses the threshold, Abel, you've made your way back. Did you grab?
Dual scene.
Did you grab Jaren on your way?
Yes.
Okay. So you grab Jaren at the clockwork and you make your way to the Hearthstone. You have to show all of your official signaries that, you have the right to travel to such a secret, not secret location, but a high security location. Mm-hmm. This is the laboratory where your dad designs all of the major military inventions of Nuevea. And you kind of enter, the tram that you take goes down into a hole in the dirt and spirals around a little bit until you come into this large cavern. And glistening on the walls all around you are the blue uncut elements of Zephyrsite that was not mined out. And at the center, kind of rotating and floating in space, is the original Zephyrsite crystal that was discovered. This large, about 15 foot tall, wide, uncut Zephyrsite gem that's floating there in the space. And your dad's laboratory is built around this central Zephyrsite. And you see as you come in and you get off of your little trolley tram, and it kind of goes back up through the mountain path back towards the castle or the palace. Both your father and your mother are in the Hearthstone. And they kind of look at each other for a moment. And then Ogon says, oh, Jaren, there is something over here I would love for you to put your eye onto. We are trying to figure out a way to couple the power from this Zephyr site chain and connect it to this one. We're having a little trouble with the power coupling. Might that be something that you studied? And Jaren goes, oh, yeah, it's power coupling. That's I think it was like, what, third year? I think I'm fine with that. And so Ogon kind of guides him over far across the cavern to another space within the Hearthstone, and kind of puts Jaren to work with something there. And then he comes back over. And Arisha has not said anything while she's waiting for him to return.
Okay.
But they do get back. Well, Abel,
I am glad to be back home. I think the elephant in the room, I will go ahead and say, Mother, I am sorry that our original plan for me to go to Alyria and begin my studies at the Violet Cloister was derailed. But I am not ashamed of the decisions that I have made. Honestly, I helped to develop a adventurous guild that was created by the decree of the king. And I feel like our work has helped to build a reputation amongst the people that would be beneficial for Nuevea. So while I am sorry that I may have deviated from our plan, I won't apologize for the decisions that I have made.
Arisha kind of looks at Oguan. I thought that he might be talking about a different elephant in the room. I just...
His gun.
It is fine, Abel. I wanted you to have an education beyond what you would have gotten here. And it seems that you have learned far more than you would have behind the walls of some school. I also just sought to have you someplace where you would be safe and protected. I must admit that I have been worried about the amount of danger that you have been putting yourself into, and I have only not intervened on several occasions because of your father's assurance that it would be all right.
Well, to that point, Mother, if I were at the Violet Cloister, we found out that Victor Rylis was actually never himself. He was, if he even existed at all, but he was actually Volmir Rylis, the dragon Aruman.
What?
In disguise.
No.
No? Did I switch that?
No, it's just Volmir was working for his father.
Oh, Volmir
that his father's not actually dead.
Victor Rylis, the dragon Aruman. So
yeah.
I'd question how safe I would have been in the halls of the Violet Cloister if I had gone straight there to continue my studies. And although I did not study there, we did eventually make our way there. And as I told Father, while I was there, I did meet the dragon that slumbers in its halls and was given a vision and a prophecy that, to be honest, is very concerning.
The firstborn is the poison within your island?
Exactly.
I heard the same prophecy when I was there.
So this has been known all this time?
Arisha and Oguan look at each other again.
So
I believe, against the wishes of the sovereign, that your father began to tell you a story There are some parts of it that I can tell you, but that is not all. Some of the story is my sister's to share and not my own. And Ogwan, who's busying himself with working on something you've never seen before, actually, a large device that's kind of at the centerpiece of this. It's something new, but he's busying himself working on it. And he just says, I think you can tell her anyway. And he just looks at mumbling that like this is being kept from you.
So
the part that you know is what did your father tell you in Hall?
We barely got a chance to speak before a Rakshasa appeared from the shadows and attacked us. The strange thing is, and something that I did not bring up to the rest of the ticket takers, is when we were attacked, the Rakshasa clearly stated that he revels in the chance to kill 2 Nuevians. But it was not just father and I there. Prince Vicus was very close to us and seemed not to stoke any of the Rakshasa's ire. So if this story is the sovereign's to tell about the prophecy, is it true that it is about Vicus?
Before you were born, I was the sovereign of Nuevea.
How is...
I was the firstborn of the Abioye family, not my sister. I switched places with her when I was pregnant with you, and made her the firstborn with this spell that Ogwan already told you. I used this very crystal here to cast it, because there was an agreement that I could not, as the sovereign, agree to.
Am I the firstborn that the prophecy is speaking of?
No.
What is the entire story, Mother? This is...
Again, it is not my story to tell you, Abel. I wish, even though I may have once sat on that throne, I gave it up to... And you hear a voice from the back of the chamber. Yes, sister, it is not your story to tell, it is my own. And you see stepping forth Yamaya Asara, the sovereign of Nuevea, a beautiful white dress, hair braided into a crown, and at her side, the consort, her husband, Tayo Asara, wearing very traditional Nuevian garb as well. And she steps forward. However, with the events of what occurred in Anovir, perhaps it is time that we reevaluate our contract. And Tayo steps forward. I don't think that is wise, my lady. And Yamaya says, Tayo, this is an issue of family. And we might be married, but this is my sister. And this is my nephew. And we will solve this together. And Tayo, steps back, grumbling, not happy with that decision. Jordan.
Oh God, Josh, how can you do this to me? Oh my God, I'm crying and screaming and throwing up, and then this.
I love
This
it.
is mommy issues the episode.
Mommy issues the episode.
I've been bouncing back and forth between Ace and Jace.
Because we literally at the same time texted each other, oh, we called it. Oh, we called they were twins and they switched places. Like
they're not twins.
Sure.
They're not twins.
But they switched places.
They switched places to using the modified memory cast through the mountain, made it seem as if Yamaya had been the firstborn. They also changed Yamaya's last name because Abioye is the family of the sovereign, but they changed Amaya's last name to Asara, which eliminated any connection of Abel's mother to the sovereign's line.
That is wild.
This is crazy.
Yeah. All right. So Jordan, you walk in.
Okay, I walk in.
And
I know none of this is
anyone else going in? Everyone's going in with Jordan, or they giving Jordan a little space?
I think we'll maybe let them walk in on their own, and we'll kind of trail behind and just go off to the bar.
Sure.
Yeah.
You walk in, and the first thing you hear is the voice of Nairoy from a conversation a week ago, saying it's only about once a day, but she plays that song. And because what you hear coming from a small stage at the back, this is more like a coffee shop than it is a bar, but there's alcohol to purchase here. Sitting on a stool, a dulcimer in hand, the bluish green skin, the beautiful face, the long pinkish violet colored hair, just as young as you remember her looking when you first left. Wisteria is playing the song that she taught you all those years ago. And she finishes. And there's small clapping from people around. There's this, people are sitting and writing, and people are sitting and drinking and having small conversations, but everyone lightly claps when she finishes, and she sets the dulcimer aside, and she just, well, thank you all for coming. It's been lovely as always. I'll be behind the bar. Feel free to tip your waitress. And she makes her way back behind the bar, and she kind of looks up, and as you slowly approach the bar, she kind of looks up for a moment. Yeah, what can I
feel like I actually haven't left the doorway.
Oh, yeah.
Standing in the doorway like a huge fucking nerd, just staring at this.
She kind of is cleaning a glass or whatever, and she kind of looks up, and she doesn't necessarily look directly at you, but she just says, well, you're letting in all the outside air. You got to close that door. And then she glances back up, and you just hear tumble as the glass she's holding shatters at her feet. And she runs out from behind the bar and gets to you. Is it?
Yeah. It's been a while.
May I hug you, please?
Yeah.
And she kind of reaches out and grabs you, and then she kind of looks at you like, wow, you've grown so much. That's to be expected. I'm so sorry. You look so dashing. Please come in. How did you find me?
Maybe we should talk for a while about there's a lot of components to the story, spies and hot bartenders.
Sure.
And lots of things.
Absolutely. Here, I will. Are those your friends? And she kind of looks over your shoulder. And there's just an awkward collection of people. Please come in. Have Wallace, drinks on them. And you see the waiter going around. Not drinks on them, drinks on me. And the waiter going around. And as each of you come in, she kind of reaches out and offers you a hand to each of you coming in. I'm not going to remember your names if you are introduced to me, but if you're any friend of my son is a friend of mine, do you shake her hand?
Oh yeah.
Good. So she shakes Kaimana, Saurus, Marlowe's hand.
Yeah.
She holds your hand for just a second longer, Marlowe, then.
Insight check.
Sure, go ahead.
Is this really Jury's mom?
And does she got it going on? I gotta know.
No, the accent's enough. I don't gotta ask him. 28.
Just seems like a normal handshake.
Why does she hold it for long?
I mean, like, sorry. Nothing seems like you don't read anything weird at it. Maybe just nerves.
I don't trust this for a second. All right.
Mar thinking too hard about a social cue is the best Mar
I'll
thing
let this
ever.
go for now.
And so Wisteria leads you back to the back of the bar space, and there's a door frame, and she goes in, and it's her well-appointed office, plush chairs, at the back, an arbor of wisteria growing here, even in this space. Assuming just a conversation between you and her, Jordan, but if you want anyone else in the room with you.
They're like invited in the sense like they can be there if they want to be there, but it's like whatever.
Okay. All right. So you guys all drinks are on Wisteria, so you can order whatever you want from Wallace.
Yeah. As you guys are chilling, I'm like, I'll be back. So.
All right. So you inform Wisteria of as much of your journey as you'd like.
Sure. I'm like, went to college, the spy stuff, trying to. It kind of the reveal that I joined partially to try to find where she was.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then this whole like I leave out the like Yorian specific stuff, but it's like for some circumstance I ended up in Anarvir in a bad situation, and then dad died, and then I resurrected him, and then I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. And so that all kind of, and there's laughter, there's like pride in the conversation, but you can sense the nerves knowing that like Wisteria is waiting for the other foot to drop in this conversation.
Sure. we say everything, and then there is that like awkward
mm-hmm.
pause, and I'm like, look, I know Dad was like shitty to you and like locked you in the manor and wouldn't let you leave, but
well, is that what he told you?
I want to know what happened for real.
Well, interesting that he would think that he had that kind of power.
You're so cool. Oh my god.
Well, it is difficult to talk about love in the way of this. Maybe at one point I did love your father. He was dashing in his youth and struck a impressive figure on the dance floor.
It's hard to believe.
He probably is eating too much now and put on a little weight still, I'm sure.
God, he's still kind of handsome. It's bad.
Yeah. Didn't take care of himself after for a while. So, no, I can't remember if I loved your father. But
what do you mean you can't remember?
It's been so long, Jury, and I have pushed so much of that behind me. The early days are kind of a blur, as it were. But I did agree to marry your father and go to Cindervale and take up shop at his manor estate, and his family was so impressed with me and welcomed me into their fold, even though I was not of noble birth or noble born and didn't have a name behind me that could necessarily impress them. But they were taken with me immediately, and the contract went off without a hitch. And she stops. No, I don't think you need to know that. And you see you don't see it, but 2 gold coins disappear in her hand as she casts Gift of Gab, and the last 6 seconds of statement erased from your memory.
Woo!
Oh my gosh!
You don't know when someone.
You have no
idea
that
you, right?
no,
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And So for anybody in the audience listening, the word contract disappears and is replaced with, a partnership like that is difficult. And there were so many expectations placed on him to be successful within the family. And your grandfather was quite an asshole. And I think Warren dove too far into his work, and he forgot why he had married me in the first place, perhaps. And because of that, he experienced failure after failure with his own work. He doesn't have any magic of his own and isn't able to work the artificing the way that his grandfather could. And he just was not as successful as a leader. And he tried to overcompensate. And that meant that he ignored me. And I was okay with that for a while. But I wanted to see what else was out there, what else there was. He did try to tell me that I could not leave. But no.
But why did you leave without me?
I don't mean anything to the Windsors. But you do.
As an heir.
Unfortunately, if I had taken you with me, they would have hunted us to the ends of the earth. And so the only way I could escape clean was to leave you behind. And for that, I cannot say I am sorry enough.
I mean, I don't forgive you for that.
I don't ask for it. I can just apologize.
But there's just stuff that's not adding up about this. If you're just some traveling musician, why was the family happy to have you? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm not sure that Warren could build a positive relationship with anyone. And so that the case that he had, perhaps, that I would give him some inspiration for his work, maybe a drive. He was kind of listless.
Yeah. When I cast magic on Dad because he didn't tell me the whole truth, his wording was that you never signed on. What does that mean? I think you at least owe me some honesty here.
I signed.
Your freedom was afforded by my childhood. So you owe me.
I don't. It was a selfish choice, Jordan.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. There's nothing that I could say that would. I don't want to try to speak in a way that will paint me in a better light. Or try to gloss over the pain that I caused you.
And I get it. I've got that, the wanderlust. I understand. A little bit.
Of course. You're my son.
Dad died, and I had to bring him back. And I had to make that choice. And that's where our relationship restarted. And that's what we have to do too. We have to start over.
I look forward to starting again. I don't know what else I can tell you about that time or that will make it make sense. Just, I don't know if it helps, but I'm quite happy here. And I have missed you. But I could not come back.
I wouldn't ask that of you.
Can I have a... Did he give you at least the gifts I left for you?
There's like a real bitter expression there.
But you have the dulcimer.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Good. It's not complete. Here. She goes to a trunk behind her and she pulls out a beautiful rapier. The hilt is twisted vines of wisteria that fall out into a metal version of a tumbling wisteria plant that forms the hand guard that protects your hand when you're fighting. The blade itself is spiraling, two twin, and it comes to a dagger point.
So cool.
And she says, you might have noticed that the dulcimer had an odd hole in it. Here, and she kind of asks for the dulcimer for a moment.
Yeah,
She slides the rapier into the top of the dulcimer, and the tumbling like metallic handguard kind of completes the dulcimer and makes it look like it's a complete piece. As a mechanic, I will put these in your D&D Beyond. This is the Thorn of Wisteria. Both of these items require attunement, but as long as you are attuned to the dulcimer, you are also attuned to the rapier.
Yeah.
And then she says, I would love to just, if I could hug you, please.
I like put a hand out and I'm like, I don't know if I'm fully ready for that yet.
That is fine. And she takes your hand.
Yeah, that's fine. Hand is good.
And you feel this warmth wash through you because, the feeling your parent for the first time.
Yeah.
In a long while.
Yeah.
But make an Arcana check.
Oh, shit. There's magic. Oh, I got 18 plus 4.
That
22.
touch was not just physical.
Oops.
I like squeeze her hand a little harder, and I'm like, "What did you do?"
I did nothing. But release a lock that was put on you a long time ago.
What do you mean?
It's just not my place to tell you. And we cut back table.
Oh my god.
Josh!
The queen steps forward, or the sovereign steps forward. I will tell the story then, Orisha, if you feel like that is not your place to tell. We are a nation of people that have been on the run from dangerous forces for quite a while. And we thought that here we were safe. 19 years ago, it was revealed that a squadron or battalion of Rakshasa had invaded and were seeking to kill your mother, to overthrow Nuevea, replace us all with shapeshifters, and destroy these people once and for all. We uncovered this and found one behind a female, which is rare for Rakshasa to send females to the front line. And she begged us not to kill her, that she could offer us a pact that would protect our people. And we agreed.
You agreed to a deal with the Rakshasa? Sorry.
Yes. If we upheld our end of the bargain with this female, the Rakshasa, she would go back to the Mahar and say that the work had been completed. She would hide our location from his eyes. She would put herself at great danger to ensure that the Nuevians could not be found again. And we have not had the Rakshasa incursions in those 19 years. She has kept true to her word. And Ogwan finally from the back goes, I think it is time that we rework their bargain. We have the technology now to protect ourselves without this.
What could she possibly have said to guarantee that she would keep her word and not have you all kill her on the spot?
Yamaya looks at Orisha. I'm sorry. I was born unable to have children of my own. And so I agreed to take a small cub, as it were, and give it a new mother.
So, it is true. The prophecy was about Prince Vicus.
I have done what I can to try to make him something beyond the nature we assume for them. But perhaps my efforts have been in vain.
How would you think that that was a good idea if the people of Nuevea found out that you allowed a Rakshasa cub to sit as our sovereign in waiting?
Elgoan says, I would never allow him to take the throne.
But for so many years, he held that title. How do you know it was not his mother's intent to place him there and then simply wait for a moment where he could steal the throne away?
There was something about her that was more trustworthy than most.
A Rakshasa.
The way that female Rakshasas are treated is not very well labeled. They are seen as nothing more than carriers for the future generation and are easily tossed aside. The fact that she would trust us with these, that she could show love for her son in the way that we did not think that they were capable, it put all of our judgments into question, our stereotypical views into context. Perhaps a Rakshasa is capable of being more than just a fiend. And Vicus has been a good man. He has tried. But if he has been betraying our country behind our backs,
I am ashamed to even think of the fact that I have to go back to my team and tell them that this is a possibility. When it was mentioned that Vicus was funding the distress in Alyria, I screamed the loudest. This was nothing more than a smoke screen. I explained how his entire life from the day he was born would have been dedicated to becoming a powerful political figure to steer Nuevea and Alyria towards peace. And now I have to go back to my team and explain to them that our sovereign leader and those that we trusted to lead and protect Nuevea placed a Rakshasa inches away from the throne. This makes no sense.
We would ask that you not tell them that.
How?
This secret cannot leave this room, Abel.
Then why even tell me? Allura, you wed Princess Allura to a Rakshasa.
Yamaya looks down and Tayo from the back. See, this is what I said we should not tell him. He is too young to understand the gravity of the situation. He is too naive.
No. It is not my youth or my naive nature that needs to be called into question. You placed this young lady's life in jeopardy by putting her in the hands of a Rakshasa. There's probably truth to the claims of what Vicus was doing in Alyria.
Do you have any proof that Vicus has been doing anything behind the board? Beside a man who is under the thrall of a mad wizard who claimed that he had done so? We have not seen Vicus behave in such a way as to call into question his loyalty to his kingdom.
How could you possibly be 100% sure of that?
We are not. But do you have evidence otherwise?
You know the nature of which he comes from. And you just want to ignore that because a female Rakshasa who is normally treated as a trophy for her males had a glimmer in her eye 19 years ago.
It is so odd that only humans are allowed to express the full range of reality. And the elves and the dwarves. We look at celestial and fiendish beings as if they are trapped behind some law that they cannot break themselves. You are free to be evil, Abel, if you want. You are free to be good. How dare you assume that others are not?
Because my entire culture and life is not built on subjugating and enslaving.
The very person who gave us that cub was the source, was the oppressed version of that subjugation. She was seeking an escape for her cub. And perhaps it was a bad decision. But rather than make the cub your brother, because your mother could not stomach the thought, Yamaya took the space.
Then tell me this. Of all the high-ranking Nuevians who could have been responsible for sowing discord throughout Alyria, why was it that Vicus was the one implicated?
Arisha says, Abel, I do not know. I
think you do.
Do I think it is possible that Vicus is evil by his very nature? Perhaps. I would like to believe that that is not a guarantee that anyone is capable of changing who they are. And Vicus has been raised by a loving mother and a loving father, has been raised in the ways of Nuevea. If he cannot be changed, I don't know. But we need more evidence. Have there not been those who have assumed the shape of others to get their way? Our entire fear in the night is shapeshifters. Could one not have pretended to be Vicus?
This makes no sense. You cannot spend my entire childhood telling me the stories of our homeland being overrun by clans of Rakshasa and the atrocities they committed against those people. How they forced us over years and years to flee, finally completely overrunning our capital city, and the last few airships that were able to escape, looking back and seeing the destruction of the city walls being destroyed by their hordes, their horrible things, forcing people to worship them, eating human flesh, and then when one is standing next to me, after all those years of those horrible stories, I am supposed to treat him like a brother and give him the benefit of the doubt, knowing that there is a strong possibility that he has fallen back into the ways of which his people create their culture.
Keep in mind, Abel, that those stories are the reason this deal was made. It was a guarantee.
So why do you wait?
If she did not return to the Mahar, he would have sent a larger army.
I understand you may have had a strategic reason for keeping the cub, but now you just turn a blind eye to the strong possibility of what he is doing today. Why would you wait? Why not go and find out what involvement Vicus may have had in these affairs?
We have been trying to uncover the truth, Abel, and we have not found evidence to impugn Vicus. That does not mean that he has not worked against us, but we have not found evidence not.
To tell the other ticket takers, and we will find the evidence that you need.
If they can keep Oguan, I think it's time that we stop. I think it's time that we stop treating Abel like he is not a grown adult. I am not going to tell you to do anything, Abel, against your conscience. But make sure that they are people that you can trust implicitly.
I believe I do, Father.
A Rakshasa is not the only thing that hides who it truly is behind a face of lies. Humans have been quite good at that for a very long time.
Are you saying you believe I cannot trust my team?
Make sure you can. Make sure those that you tell are trustworthy. I have met the ticket takers. I think that they are all good people.
Good.
One of them is a spy.
And their loyalties have been tested. And I truly do think that if they were forced to make a decision, they would choose their new family over the spy network that they were beholden to.
But I assure you, your mother and I have no intention of ever allowing Vicus to take the throne. But we have no way of knowing if the Rakshasa has been keeping tabs on our arrangement. So we have had to keep up appearances. I am working on something to make it so that we do not need this deal to protect us.
What are you working on then? How soon can it be completed? If the people knew who Vicus was, there's nothing stopping them from revolting.
Jaren, how many computations have you completed? He raises his voice. Jaren says, I've coupled all of them. So I was just waiting. I didn't want to be a part. I didn't want to listen. And your father says, if I can bother him, I can have it ready in a week.
And then we can move we can move to learn more of Vicus's true intentions.
it won't matter what Vicus's true intentions were.
I have to be honest. I truly call into question our sovereign's decisions here.
Your mother says, Abel, that was me.
My opinion still stands, Mother.
Did I understand?
Ayum!
All right, Jordan.
What? Oh God, me? Okay, hi. We're back in
I
my
just wanted
scene.
to like puff on a pipe, take some.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
just there's just pipe smoke in the other room. You guys are getting drinks.
Dude, we're having a great time. We're chilling.
Yeah. But yeah,
As like our conversations, like as we had that moment and everything, I just want to, similarly how I rolled insight on my dad, I want to roll insight on her to see like if she's holding stuff
Sure.
back from me. I got, oh my God, I have so much insight. Hold on. I got a 24.
she seems to be very honest.
Okay. If that's the case, that's my feeling about the thing. I'm like, I have her like hand, and I'm like, basically, I don't know if you remember it all, but there was like a blue tiefling that came here once that had like a bunch of tattoos and stuff, and probably had bad poetry at the time, and he yeah, he rolls his shirt, so like crazy.
A writer.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He was writing something like short stories.
Yeah, he's been working on that.
Nairoy.
Yeah, you remember him too. It's so funny.
It's always easy to remember anybody that I've made a friendship with.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Not like
Wait.
that, Lord.
Get out of here. You guys are gross.
Look,
Atwood,
I react because Atwood reacts.
divorce.
I'm sorry. It's like the worst shit has happened like in the last
No,
like 10
there's
minutes.
no-
I'm assuming the worst from anything Josh says.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So she says that.
I will tell you, most of that backstory is the creative mind of Abel. So there you go.
Yeah,
Jesus,
so
God.
You added
cool.
some
So
spice to it,
cool.
boy.
I didn't add anything.
I'm like, he told me you were here and remembered you and put the pieces together, and without him, I wouldn't even be here. So
Oh, has he been upholding his end of the bargain?
what?
Suddenly, she shakes her head. No, not yet. Gift of gab.
God, what is that?
So you just.
Josh, I'm gonna kill you.
So
I
what
don't
you hear instead, what you remember instead, is her saying, "Has he been doing well? Has he published anything yet?"
Josh, I am gonna I'm so mad at you. I swear to God.
I'm sorry, you were dealing
I
with a
didn't hear that.
chaotic creature.
I don't. Give me 1 second.
Mhm.
I didn't hear that. Yeah, he's doing great. Be like, anyway, it's just yeah, you have him to thank, I guess.
Well,
Can we this is so awkward. Can we like play a song together?
I normally only play once a day, but I'd be happy to pick up the dulcimer again for you.
Yeah, that'd be because I have like a new thing I've been doing. So Dad had to hear my first song, which is so stupid. So you should really hear one.
I would love to. Do you just want me to pick along?
Yeah, that'd be
All
great.
right. Well, you lead the way. And
Okay.
she kind of guides you out to the stage. She picks up her own dulcimer and pulls a chair for you to sit at. I have a lovely announcement for all of y'all. I'm going to be playing again, but at the behest of my son, Jordan.
That's
And everyone
me.
just kind of like golf claps again.
Yeah.
except for Saurus, who's losing his mind in the back. Like,
That's my friend Saurus.
So you play your song.
Okay, I'm gonna roll performance with advantage because I get 1 advantage on a charisma check.
And you can add a
And that was Source
you can add a
deliberately doing that.
Hold on.
Because that's completely
You can add a
against
D4 to
his
the
normal
roll,
policy.
Oh, add a d4 also.
Yep.
13. Okay. I rolled so badly and got a 20. Wow.
There you go.
That's hysterical.
Nice.
That's like almost one of the worst rolls I could have, and I got a 20.
Are you playing the same song that you played at night?
And it's on my violin, and it's actually different. It's like a violin cover of the Lil Nas X song. What is that song? It's the last one on the album. I'll put it in the chat.
All right, cool, awesome. But you all listen as the song goes.
I know it's "Am I Dreaming?"
Oh, I love "Am I Dreaming?"
Yeah,
yes, and you play the first verse, and when you get to the chorus, you all watch as Wisteria begins to pick in with it, and the lights in the rooms change and kind of go along with what's there, and just the smell of flowers and the beautiful music drifting through. And it's difficult, to notice like the faint tracks of tears in Jury's eyes. Yeah. And the fact that Wisteria has not cried at all.
Oh, don't like that.
And that's where we'll pick up next time.
Oh,
gosh.
We can play for like another hour, right?
It's up to you.
Everything about this made me so concerned.
Oh, Josh.
I hate gift of gab.
I'm going to go to coffee with this week.
I will say.
I'm going to get yelled at.
Yeah. There are some
Actually, we're getting
things
boba this week.
that I need to talk to Jury about one-on-one, but
Jesus fucking Christ. Have I not been through enough? Yes.
No, yeah. These are purely mechanical things.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I'm excited to see what the sword does.
Oh, yeah. I got it. I can tell you it's the
so funny.
Thorn of Wisteria. It gives you
pissed, and then I got a sword and I was like, I am less pissed.
It gives you a +1 to attack rolls. It also gives you a +1 to your AC.
Oh my god, I got like 16 AC now.
Yeah, but once per day you can activate the rapier and it flies next to you and it begins to sing your mother's song. All enemies within 20 feet must succeed on a DC 15 charisma saving throw or be charmed, which basically means they're stunned until the end of your turn. When activated, the rapier acts on your bonus action and may make 2 strikes to enemies up to a distance of 20 feet away.
Wow.
Nice.
Does the rapier have a mouth when it sings?
I hope not.
I feel like that's a question for you because you made the item.
I hope it doesn't. No, it kind of like magically eliminates. No, it doesn't. It doesn't
like Legend of
yeah.
Zelda style. That kind of like
yeah. It's not a. It's not like a.
On a sword.
It's not a singing sword. Right. Like from what cartoon was it that had that singing sword? I can't remember.
Your mom's like, here's a cursed mouth sword.
Yeah, it's a cursed mouth sword. Fuck you.
Oh my god, I'm so emotionally compromised by this session. In a good way.
I know there was a sword and it had a mouth. It didn't have eyes. Bugs Bunny.
Ronnie, yeah. Ronnie, we made it through together, okay? You and I, we had a foils situation.
I was like huge props to everybody on their RP today.
Yes.
Ronnie,
I was like
Ace.
My feels, Jury.
Ace, thanks, you had some great hurt in your voice when you can
yes.
your mom. It's just like
absolutely.
Also,
Ronnie, when you took them to task, I was losing my fucking mind, and I'm obsessed with that because it was a flawed argument on everybody's side, but like everybody was doubling down so hard, and I was like, oh my god, this is like reality TV.
It is.
Well, and
like the real world with like giant.
And I designed Wisteria not to be a hard person to talk to, and so Jury like rocking out in that RP is awesome.
Oh yeah, and I'm mad at you. Me as a player, I'm mad at you in a good way.
I didn't want to give you all of the cards at the first whatever.
Oh no, it's fantastic. This is gonna be a recurring NPC, so we're gonna have
nice
stuff.
Yeah.
All right. But still don't know what your dad's working on, Abel, so you can figure that out next time, I guess.
And I'm because it's like, it'll be working in a week. It's like, Oh, it doesn't have plot armor. I mean, something bad's going to happen within the week.
Oh no!
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
God.
I'm so sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, if you can stay on it,
I'll stay on.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'll stay here.
but everyone
I
else
sit quietly in the corner while you get. I'm joking.
kick you off the call.
See you at around 11 tomorrow, Atwood.
Yep, see you at 11.
I adore y'all.
All right, guys.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Happy first session.
Happy New Year.
First session.
Yeah.